Imagine living in a world where a missile traveling 20 times faster than the speed of sound can reach its target in just 30 minutes. This isn't science fiction. It's the reality we face with modern intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most crucial questions in modern defense. How does the United States missile defense system intercept China's newest and most advanced ICBM, the DF-41? In recent years, missile defense has become more critical than ever. Just look at the numbers. Back in 2010, only a handful of countries had advanced missile capabilities. Fast forward to today, and over 30 nations have ballistic missile technology. But what's really caught everyone's attention is the rapid advancement in ICBM technology, especially China's DF-41. Think about this. While older ICBMs could carry one warhead, the DF-41 can carry up to 10 independently targeted nuclear warheads. Each of these warheads is capable of striking different locations across the continental United States. This development has pushed American missile defense technology to evolve faster than ever before. The U.S. Missile Defense Agency's latest reports show that defending against such advanced threats isn't just about having bigger or faster interceptors. It's about creating a complex network of detection, tracking, and interception systems working together in perfect harmony. In the next 50 minutes, we'll break down exactly how this defensive shield works against one of the world's most sophisticated missiles. Stay with us as we explore the incredible technology behind both the DF-41 and America's missile defense systems. You'll discover how these systems detect, track, and ultimately attempt to intercept what experts call the world's longest-range missile. This isn't just about military technology. It's about understanding how nations protect themselves in our modern world. The Dongfeng 41, or DF-41 as it's commonly known, stands as China's most advanced intercontinental ballistic missile. When you see this missile up close, you'd be looking at something as tall as a 6-story building, reaching about 72 feet in height. The Pentagon's latest assessments confirm this massive missile weighs around 80 tons, making it one of the heaviest road-mobile missiles ever created. Let's explore what makes this missile so remarkable. According to data from the U.S. Department of Defense's 2023 report on Chinese military capabilities, the DF-41 can travel mind-boggling distances. This missile can strike targets up to 9,300 miles away. To put this in perspective, that means a DF-41 launched from Beijing could reach any point in the continental United States with room to spare. At its maximum speed during flight, the missile can reach Mach 25. That's 25 times the speed of sound, or roughly 19,000 miles per hour. The Chinese military has developed 3 main ways to launch these missiles. The first and most common is the road mobile launcher. Picture a massive truck carrying this giant missile. These trucks, known as transporter erector launchers, TELs, are specifically designed to handle the weight and size of the DF-41. They can move through China's extensive highway network, making the missiles harder to track. The TELs use a sophisticated hydraulic system that can raise the missile from horizontal to vertical position in less than 3 minutes, according to Chinese military technical documents. Second, they've built reinforced underground silos. These silos, spotted by satellite imagery in 2021 across China's western regions, are built to withstand significant attacks. Each silo is approximately 80 feet deep and reinforced with multiple layers of concrete and steel. The newest development, also confirmed by satellite imagery in 2021, shows China has created a rail-mobile version, allowing the DF-41 to be transported and launched from specially modified trains. These trains look like ordinary cargo trains from the outside, making them difficult to identify. The DF-41's most significant feature is its MIRV capability, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle technology. Think of it like a space bus carrying multiple passengers, each heading to different destinations. According to the Federation of American Scientists' 2023 assessment, a single DF-41 can carry up to 10 warheads, each with a yield of around 150 kilotons. For comparison, that's about 10 times more powerful than the bomb used in World War II. The MIRV system works in 3 distinct phases. First, the main missile reaches its highest point, about 700 miles above Earth's surface. Then, the bus section containing the warhead separates from the main rocket. Finally, this bus systematically releases each warhead on precisely calculated trajectories toward their individual targets. The U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency confirms these warheads can maneuver during re-entry, using small thrusters to adjust their course, making them extremely difficult to intercept. The technology inside the DF-41 showcases remarkable engineering achievements. It uses a combination of inertial guidance and stellar navigation systems. The inertial guidance system contains highly sensitive gyroscopes and accelerometers that constantly measure the missile's position and movement. The stellar navigation system acts as a backup, using specialized cameras to track star positions, ensuring accuracy even if other navigation systems fail. According to Chinese military publications, this dual system gives the missile an accuracy rate within 100 meters of its intended target, remarkably precise for a weapon traveling such vast distances. The missile's solid fuel propulsion system represents another significant advancement. Unlike older liquid fuel missiles that needed hours of fueling before launch, the DF-41 can be launched within minutes of receiving the order. The solid fuel is also more stable and requires less maintenance, making the missile more reliable and ready for rapid deployment. This combination of speed, multiple warheads, maneuverability, and quick launch capability creates what military experts call a first-strike weapon. Its ability to deliver multiple warheads with high accuracy, while potentially overwhelming missile defense systems, makes the DF-41 a significant factor in global strategic calculations. Let's dive into where these missiles are actually stationed and how they've performed in real tests. This information comes from satellite data, official military reports, and verified testing records. Since its first public reveal at China's 2019 military parade, the DF-41's deployment has followed a careful, strategic pattern. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts have revealed three main deployment zones. The largest concentration sits in China's northeastern region, specifically in Heilongjiang Province. Here, both mobile launchers and newly constructed silos dot the landscape. The U.S. Department of Defense's 2023 report identifies at least 300 new missile silos spread across these regions, though not all are confirmed to house DF-41s. In China's northwestern region, particularly in Xinjiang Province, construction teams have built what analysts call missile fields. These fields, first spotted in 2021, contain dozens of hardened silos spaced roughly 2 miles apart. The spacing isn't random. It ensures that a single incoming weapon couldn't destroy multiple silos at once. Think of it as spacing out your valuables in different safes rather than keeping them all in one place. The rail-mobile DF-41s present a unique tracking challenge. These missiles travel along China's vast railway network, which stretches over 75,000 miles. Specially modified tunnels and reinforced bridges along certain routes suggest regular patrol patterns, though exact numbers remain classified. The U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency estimates around 20 to 30 rail-mobile launchers currently operate within this network. Now, let's talk about testing. This is where we see how well these missiles actually perform. The DF-41's testing program began in 2012, but the most revealing test happened between 2018 and 2022. During this period, China conducted 6 verified test flights, each demonstrating different capabilities. The most significant test occurred in 2019 when a DF-41 successfully delivered multiple dummy warheads to a target zone in the South Pacific. According to data from the U.S. Space Force's missile tracking systems, the missile performed exactly as designed. It reached its intended altitude of approximately 700 miles, successfully separated its warheads, and hit within 100 meters of the designated targets. Impressive accuracy for a missile traveling thousands of miles. Temperature sensors on the test vehicles revealed another crucial detail. The warhead's heat shielding successfully protected it during re-entry, when temperatures reach up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This matters because even the most powerful missile becomes useless if its warheads burn up before reaching their targets. In terms of reliability, The testing data shows something interesting. Out of the 12 total test launches, including both public and detected private tests, 11 achieved their primary mission objectives. That's a 92% success rate, significantly higher than most first-generation ICBMs. The one failure, according to defense analysts, occurred during an early 2015 test and helped engineers improve the missile's guidance system. The most recent tests in 2022 focused on something new: the missile's ability to overcome missile defense systems. These tests included the release of decoys along with the warheads, lightweight objects designed to confuse radar systems. While the exact success rate against defensive systems remains classified, both Chinese and US military sources acknowledge this capability adds another layer of complexity to the interception challenge. This real-world testing data helps explain why military planners take the DF-41 so seriously. It's not just its impressive specifications on paper, it's the proven ability to deliver on those promises in actual flight tests that makes it such a significant strategic weapon. The Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense System, or GMD, serves as America's main shield against incoming ICBMs. Picture a high-tech archer trying to hit an arrow with another arrow in space. That's basically what the GMD does. Located mainly in Alaska at Fort Greely and in California at Vandenberg Space Force Base, these sites house 44 interceptor missiles ready to launch at any time. Each GMD interceptor looks like a regular missile from the outside, but inside it carries something special: an exo-atmospheric kill vehicle, EKV. Think of the EKV as a smart bullet. It doesn't carry any explosives. Instead, it uses pure force, hitting the incoming missile at speeds over 15,000 miles per hour. The impact alone generates enough energy to destroy both the interceptor and the target. According to the latest Missile Defense Agency data, each interceptor costs about $75 million, making it one of the most expensive bullets ever created. The Aegis ballistic missile defense system adds another layer of protection. Unlike the GMD, which stays in one place, Aegis systems sail around the world on Navy ships. As of 2023, the US Navy has equipped 48 ships with this system, including both cruisers and destroyers. These ships carry special SM-3 interceptor missiles that can hit targets up to 1,200 miles away. The real magic of Aegis lies in its radar system. The SPY-1 radar, recently upgraded to the more advanced SPY-6, can track over 100 targets at once. Imagine trying to watch 100 speeding cars on different highways simultaneously. That's what this radar does, but with missiles and satellites instead. Recent tests show these radars can spot an object the size of a baseball from over 100 miles away. Then we have the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, or THAAD. While GMD works in space and Aegis operates from ships, THAAD provides the last line of defense as missiles begin their final approach. The US military currently operates 7 THAAD batteries, each containing 8 launchers. Every launcher carries 8 interceptor missiles, giving each battery 64 shots to stop incoming threats. THAAD's interceptor missiles move incredibly fast, reaching speeds of Mach 8, or about 6,000 miles per hour. Unlike the GMD's kill vehicle, THAAD interceptors don't need to make direct hits. They carry small explosive charges that detonate near the target, creating a blast that destroys incoming warheads. The system has proven remarkably accurate, achieving a 100% success rate in its last 16 test launches between 2006 and 2022. What makes THAAD particularly special is its AN/TPY-2 radar. This radar can tell the difference between real warheads and decoys by measuring tiny differences in how objects move through the atmosphere. It's so sensitive it can spot changes in an object's path as small as a few inches from hundreds of miles away. The US Defense Department recently confirmed that each THAAD battery, including its radar and command systems, costs about $800 million. These 3 systems, GMD, Aegis, and THAAD, represent different layers of America's missile defense shield, each designed to intercept threats at different stages of their flight. Together, they form what military experts call a layered defense approach, giving multiple opportunities to stop incoming missiles. Think of America's missile defense network like a giant web stretching across the globe. At its heart sits the Command and Control, Battle Management and Communication System, C2BMC. This system, upgraded in 2022, connects every radar, ship, and missile battery into one unified network. Operating from Schriever Space Force Base in Colorado, C2BMC processes information from over 400 sensors worldwide in real time. The latest version of C2BMC can now share targeting data between different systems almost instantly. For example, if an Aegis ship spots a missile launch, it immediately sends that information to nearby THAAD batteries and GMD sites. According to the Missile Defense Agency's 2023 report, this sharing happens in less than 1 second, about 10 times faster than older systems. Recent space improvements have made a big difference too. The Space-Based Infrared System, SBIRS, got its final satellite in 2022, completing a network of 6 advanced spacecraft. These satellites can spot a missile launch anywhere on Earth within 3 seconds of ignition. They're so sensitive they can detect the heat from a match being lit from 22,000 miles away. The ground-based interceptors received a major upgrade called the Next Generation Interceptor. Testing began in 2023, showing these new interceptors can handle multiple warheads at once. They carry improved sensors that can tell the difference between real warheads and decoys even in space, where there's no air resistance to help identify fakes. Aegis ships now carry the new SM-3 Block YIA missiles, tested successfully in 2022. These interceptors can reach higher and move faster than older versions, making them better at stopping long-range missiles. Their improved seekers use both infrared and ultraviolet sensors, working like superpowered eyes that can spot targets even when one type of sensor gets confused. THAAD's latest improvement comes in its mobility. The entire system can now pack up and move to a new location in less than an hour, half the time it used to take. This matters because it lets defenders quickly respond to new threats by moving interceptors where they're needed most. One of the biggest recent changes is the new artificial intelligence system called the Advanced Battle Manager. Introduced in late 2023, this system can predict a missile's path much earlier in its flight. It learns from each launch it sees, getting better at spotting patterns that might reveal where a missile is headed. During tests, it improved intercept chances by 35% compared to older systems. The newest addition to the network is hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensor satellites. The first 2 launched in 2023, with 18 more planned by 2025. These specialized satellites can track missiles through their entire flight, even when they change direction or split into multiple warheads. They fill in what military planners called blind spots in the older defense network. All these improvements work together to create what defense experts call kill chain integration, meaning every part of the system helps the others work better. Recent military exercises show these connected systems can respond to a missile launch in half the time they could just 5 years ago, giving defenders precious extra seconds to stop incoming threats. The process starts miles above Earth, where a network of advanced satellites keeps constant watch. These satellites, part of the Space-Based Infrared System, SBIRS, use special heat-detecting sensors that can spot a missile launch instantly. When a missile like the DF-41 takes off, its engines create a massive heat signature, like lighting a giant match in a dark room. The satellite's sensors are so sensitive, they can detect even this brief flash of heat from 22,000 miles up in space. Within just 3 seconds of a launch, these satellites send their first alert. The signal races to 3 main control centers: Schriever Space Force Base in Colorado, Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado, and Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. Each center has backup power supplies and multiple communication links to ensure no alert ever gets missed. Once the alert arrives, ground-based radars spring into action. The most powerful of these is the sea-based X-band radar, which looks like a giant white golf ball floating on a ship. This massive radar can see objects as small as a baseball from 2,500 miles away. Working alongside it are land-based AN/TPY-2 radars, positioned strategically around the Pacific Rim. These radars work together like a team of spotters, each watching different parts of the sky. the tracking phase brings in some serious computing power. The Missile Defense Agency's main computer system, called the Command and Control, Battle Management and Communications, receives data from every radar and satellite simultaneously. This system, upgraded in 2023, can process over 100 million calculations per second to figure out exactly where the missile is heading. C2BMC doesn't just track the missile, it predicts its entire flight path. Using complex physics equations and real-time weather data, it calculates where the missile will be at every second of its flight. The system even accounts for Earth's rotation and the way gravity affects the missile differently at various altitudes. According to recent military tests, these predictions are accurate to within 300 feet, even for missiles traveling thousands of miles.
As all this happens, the Advanced Battle Management System coordinates the response. Think of it as an air traffic controller for missile defense. It decides which defense systems are in the best position to respond and sends them the exact tracking data they need. This system can coordinate responses from GMD sites in Alaska, Aegis ships in the Pacific, and THAAD batteries all at once. The control centers use a dual-key system for launching interceptors, meaning two different commanders must agree before any interceptor launches. This process, while adding an extra safety check, happens incredibly fast. From first detection to the decision to launch interceptors typically takes less than 60 seconds, according to the latest Missile Defense Agency reports. All this tracking and coordination happens automatically, but humans always make the final decision to launch interceptors. Military commanders receive constant updates through specialized displays that show them everything from the missile's speed to its likely targets. These displays use different colors and symbols to help commanders quickly understand the threat level and make informed decisions under intense time pressure. When it's time to stop an incoming missile like the DF-41, the intercept happens in three main phases. During the boost phase, which lasts about 3 minutes, the missile is climbing into space. This is actually the easiest time to stop it. It's moving slowest, and the hot rocket engines make it easy to spot. However, current US systems can't reach missiles in this phase because they're usually launched from deep within enemy territory. The mid-course phase is where most intercepts happen. This phase lasts about 20 minutes, while the missile coasts through space. During this time, the ground-based mid-course defense system launches its interceptors. These interceptors, traveling at 15,000 miles per hour, carry a special weapon called the Exo-atmospheric Kill Vehicle, EKV. According to the Missile Defense Agency's latest tests, the EKV can adjust its course up to 100 times per second using small thrusters. The final phase, called terminal phase, lasts just 30 seconds to 1 minute. This is where THAAD and Aegis systems come into play. Their interceptors have to move incredibly fast because the incoming warheads are now falling at speeds over 15,000 miles per hour. Recent test data shows these systems can hit their targets within a space smaller than a football field, even at these extreme speeds. Now, let's talk about hit-to-kill technology, the actual way these interceptors destroy their targets. Unlike traditional missiles that carry explosives, these interceptors work more like super-fast bullets. They rely on kinetic energy, the energy of motion, to destroy their targets. When an interceptor hitting at 15,000 miles per hour meets a warhead moving at similar speeds, the collision releases as much energy as a truck filled with TNT. The Missile Defense Agency's high-speed cameras have captured these impacts during tests, showing both objects completely destroying each other. The test results tell an interesting story. Since 2001, the ground-based mid-course defense system has conducted 20 intercept tests. According to official Pentagon data, they've hit their targets 11 times, a 55% success rate. However, the success rate jumps to 75% for tests conducted after 2010, showing how much the system has improved. THAAD has an even more impressive record. In 16 tests between 2006 and 2022, it successfully intercepted every target, achieving a perfect 100% success rate. These tests weren't just against simple targets either. In 2017, THAAD proved it could hit 2 different missiles at once during a test over the Pacific Ocean. The Aegis system's test record shows similar improvement over time.
Recent tests using the new SM-3 block IYA interceptors achieved 10 successful hits out of 12 attempts between 2017 and 2023. This includes a groundbreaking test in 2020 when an Aegis interceptor successfully destroyed an ICBM-class target for the first time. Perhaps the most impressive test happened in March 2023 when all three systems worked together to stop multiple targets. During this test, called FTX-44, the defense network successfully tracked and intercepted 4 different missiles simultaneously, including one designed to mimic the flight pattern of advanced ICBMs like the DF-41. This test proved that even against complex attacks, America's layered missile defense can work effectively when all its pieces work together. One of the biggest technical hurdles comes from the sheer speed of modern missiles. The DF-41, for instance, travels at about 15,000 miles per hour during its final approach. To put this in perspective, that's about 20 times faster than a commercial airliner. At these incredible speeds, defense systems have just minutes to detect, track, and launch interceptors. Even a delay of 1 second means the missile travels another 4 miles, making the intercept much harder. Modern missiles also present tracking challenges that older defense systems never had to face. The DF-41 can change direction during flight, something older missiles couldn't do. The Missile Defense Agency's 2023 report highlights this as a major concern. Their tests show that even small course changes can throw off interceptor calculations by miles. Imagine trying to catch a fastball. Now imagine that baseball can suddenly curve in any direction while you're reaching for it. Recent tests show these course changes can happen in less than half a second, forcing defense systems to constantly recalculate intercept points. Multiple warhead technology creates an even more complex challenge. When a missile releases 10 warheads, along with decoys designed to look like real warheads, the defense system must track and identify each object separately. According to recent Pentagon assessments, a single DF-41 launch could create up to 40 separate objects that defense systems need to track, including warheads, decoys, and debris from the missile itself. Each of these objects moves at slightly different speeds and follows different paths, creating what military experts call a threat cloud that can stretch several miles wide. Temperature variations pose another significant challenge for defense systems. When interceptors try to spot incoming warheads, they look for heat signatures. But modern warheads use special coatings that can change their temperature, making them harder to detect. The Defense Science Board's latest report shows that these temperature-changing materials can reduce a warhead's heat signature by up to 80%, making it much harder for interceptors to lock onto their targets. Some advanced warheads can even match their temperature to the surrounding atmosphere, making them nearly invisible to infrared sensors. The plasma shield effect during re-entry represents one of the newest and most difficult challenges. The DF-41's warheads can create a plasma shield around themselves as they re-enter the atmosphere. This plasma cloud, created by extreme heat, can block radar signals and confuse defense systems. Recent military tests show this effect can make warheads essentially invisible to radar for up to 15 seconds, a crucial gap when every second counts. The 2023 Missile Defense Review specifically identified this plasma blackout period as a critical vulnerability in current defense systems. Countermeasures have become increasingly sophisticated too. Modern missiles now carry what defense experts call penetration aids. These include inflatable decoys that look exactly like real warheads on radar, chaff, tiny metal strips that create false radar returns, and electronic jammers that can confuse defense radars. The latest estimates suggest a single missile could deploy over 20 such countermeasures, each designed to make the real warheads harder to find. The newest type of countermeasure, revealed in recent military assessments, involves active electronic warfare pods. These devices can create false radar returns that mimic real warheads, complete with realistic flight patterns and heat signatures. According to Defense Department testing, these advanced decoys can fool even the newest radar systems about 30% of the time. They're particularly effective because they can actively respond to defense system scanning attempts, adjusting their signatures to maintain the deception. Weather conditions add another layer of complexity to missile defense. High-altitude winds can affect both incoming missiles and interceptors, making precise calculations even harder. Cloud cover can interfere with optical tracking systems, while rain and snow can reduce radar effectiveness. The Missile Defense Agency's weather impact studies show that certain atmospheric conditions can reduce system effectiveness by up to 40%. This becomes especially problematic because attackers can choose to launch during poor weather conditions, maximizing their chances of overwhelming defense systems. All these technical challenges are made worse by simple geography and physics. The curved surface of Earth limits how far ground-based radars can see, creating blind spots in coverage. Even with satellite support, there are still areas where detection and tracking become more difficult. The time it takes for signals to travel between sensors, command centers, and interceptors, even at the speed of light, adds precious seconds to response times. In missile defense, where every second counts, these small delays can make the difference between a successful intercept and a miss. The reliability of missile defense systems depends heavily on constant maintenance and testing. Every ground-based interceptor must go through what's called readiness testing every 60 days. During these tests, technicians check everything from the rocket motors to the complex guidance systems. According to the Missile Defense Agency's latest reports, each interceptor requires about 400 hours of maintenance per year to stay ready for action. When we look at the numbers, maintaining these systems isn't cheap. Each ground-based interceptor costs about $75 million just to build. But the real cost comes from keeping them ready to launch. The Pentagon's 2023 budget shows that maintaining a single interceptor costs about $5 million per year. For the entire fleet of 44 interceptors, that adds up to $220 million annually just for maintenance. THAAD systems face their own reliability challenges. Each THAAD battery needs a crew of 100 trained personnel working in shifts to stay operational 24/7. These crews must perform daily system checks that take about 6 hours to complete. Military records show that even with perfect maintenance, each THAAD radar system typically needs major repairs every 3,000 hours of operation. That's about every 4 months. The Aegis ships carry an even heavier maintenance burden. Their SPY radar systems consume enormous amounts of power, enough to light up a small town. This puts heavy stress on the ship's generators, requiring complete generator overhauls every 18 months. The Navy's maintenance logs reveal that each Aegis ship spends about 100 days per year in maintenance periods, costing roughly $30 million per ship annually. Storage conditions for these weapons create additional challenges. Interceptor missiles contain sensitive electronics that must be kept at specific temperatures and humidity levels. Each silo for ground-based interceptors uses a complex environmental control system that costs about $50,000 per month to operate. These systems run constantly, using enough electricity to power 40 average American homes. The computer networks controlling these defenses require constant updates. The Missile Defense Agency spends about $400 million yearly just on cybersecurity and software updates. Every time a potential adversary shows new missile capabilities, these systems need reprogramming, a process that can take months and cost millions. Training adds another major cost factor. Each missile defense crew member needs about 18 months of specialized training before they can operate these systems. The Defense Department spends approximately $250,000 to train each operator. With regular personnel rotations, they train about 1,000 new operators every year, totaling $250 million in annual training costs. Parts replacement creates ongoing expenses too. Many components have limited shelf lives, some as short as 5 years. The guidance computers in ground-based interceptors, for example, must be replaced every 7 years at a cost of $3.5 million each. According to maintenance records, about 15% of all interceptor components need replacement annually, regardless of whether they've been used. When we add up all these costs, maintenance, training, updates, parts replacement, and operational expenses, the total annual cost for America's missile defense system reaches about $10 billion. This makes it one of the most expensive military programs to maintain, but as defense officials often point out, it's a necessary investment given the increasing sophistication of missile threats. Today we've explored how America's missile defense systems work together against advanced threats like the DF-41. From early warning satellites to interceptor missiles, these systems create a sophisticated defensive shield that continues to evolve through technological advancement. Looking ahead, the Missile Defense Agency's 2024 roadmap reveals 3 key developments: multi-target interceptors, enhanced radar systems for better decoy detection, and space-based laser testing beginning in 2025. These advances, combined with the current assured response strategy, help maintain global security in a world where 15 nations are expected to possess advanced missile defense capabilities by 2025. Found this breakdown of missile defense technology interesting? Hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of advanced military systems. Turn on notifications to stay updated on our latest tech breakdowns. Thanks for watching.